There you are. Welcome to Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world, and we're going to have a Zen Fit today. I have a Zen Fit every day. A Zen Fit is a situation where nothing fits, then fits, and it's the same situation. The English love to sort it out. They're going to sort it out. We got it sorted out. Did you sort it out? Why don't you sort it out? I might sort it out. I wish I could sort it out. Sort it out. Sort it out is a Zen Fit. When nothing fits, nothing is sorted out. It's just like chaos. It's painful. And then suddenly there's an insight and everything fits. And it's the same situation. So the title of this talk is, what is the title of this talk? The lose-lose game in your basement. Now, you may not have a basement. My house doesn't have a basement, but we all have a basement. If you realize that, metaphorically speaking, the conscious mind is a house. And this is where I live, in a world that's my house. And I invite people into my house or I kick them out. But the world is my house and I feel home here. I want to get back to my home. Coming and going, I'm always at home in my house where everything is sorted out. But then it isn't. Somebody's always coming in, stealing something, trying to sell me something, or there's something in the house. There's a rat or a mouse or a squirrel. I have to get it sorted out. But there's a basement. We never go into the basement. Now, the movie that I'm thinking of right now is The Queen's Gambit. Did you see that movie? See it. It's a wonderful metaphor for the basement of your mind. So this little girl, she was an orphan. Metaphorically, we're all orphans. We've all lost our home. We're all looking for home. We're all orphans. But she goes in the basement, and there's an old man playing chess in the basement. He's the janitor. People don't notice him. But in the basement, he's playing chess with himself. And she's curious. What is he doing? You notice playing chess with yourself, you can't lose or you can't win. Because if one side wins, the other side loses, but you're both sides. But it's fun, I guess. I've never done it. But maybe we could, any game like ping-pong, in the basement, we play ping-pong with ourselves. And so the little orphan was curious. You have to be curious, and you have to go into your basement to see what this strange sound is. Maybe there's no sound with chess, but let's say it's a ping pong game. And you hear this pop, 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 pop. No one else in the house notices it, or they say, oh, it's the furnace, or it's something else, but you're curious. You open the door and you go into the basement of your mind to find out what this pop, 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 pop is. Now, if you want to see the ping pong game in the basement, just watch when your mind is in a talkie-talk tape loop against itself. Maybe something disturbed your house. Somebody took something. Who did it? There's a little pain there. Who did it? And now you'll notice that this triggers a ping pong game in the mind. Pop, 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 pop. And if you watch the ping pong game or the thought game in the mind, it's an argument with yourself or some imaginary player. Could be yourself telling yourself to do this, don't do that, oh, I should do this, or God damn it, why'd they do that, yada, 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 yada. Or it's an imaginary player. The neighbor, some stranger, somebody caused your life to get unsorted. So we try to sort it out by creating a ping pong game in the mind. Now, most people just Well, if you don't find some relief or intervention, it can drive you to suicide or murder. The newspapers are full of people who shoot somebody to get rid of the ping pong game in the mind. They think it's real. They think the other player is that black guy, the Jewish guy, or the trans guy, or the Trump guy, or the liberal guy. You know, so I go fight them. I get a group, and we're going to go fight that ping pong player in my mind that I have projected out into the world. It says you're the reason I can't sort it out. You see, I'll get rid of you. Then we can sort it out. I'll get rid of the cause. But if you go into the basement of the mind and get out of the house, you discover that it's a ping pong game in your mind. Just like the orphan in the Queen's Gambit discovered that it's an old man playing chess or ping pong with himself. So she's curious. And he invites her to sit down. And she learns how to play chess. But when she goes into the world, she has to go through the painful process of discovering that the opponent she's playing is not out there, but it's always herself. She's always playing herself. But she doesn't see that. People don't see it. We're playing the other guy. Got to defeat the other guy. The other guy is the cause of my not winning. But in the end, she comes to the realization that she's playing with herself. And she leaves the Oscars, she leaves the trophy and the fame and the success and goes to the park where everybody's playing with themselves, just for the joy of the game. The joy of the game. Not the seriousness of winning, you see, but the joy of winning and losing. Because when you see the game in the basement, you win. Winning is losing, and losing is winning. They cannot be separated. Unless you bring the game up into the world, and now you got some enemy sitting there, and you got to defeat him so you can win and be the one left standing. But in the basement of the mind, there is no winning because you are your opponent. You're playing with yourself. This is awakening in Zen, where you see that you are beyond the pairs of opposites. You are the basement that holds the game of the world, where yes and no are separate, you see. In the world, yes and no, good and bad, up and down, in or out, they're all separate. I want to go up, I don't want to go down. I want to win, I don't want to lose. You see, I want the positive, not the negative. And so we fight to sort it out. But we never go in the basement to see the cause, to see the root. It's all projected up into the house of the world where we live. You see. So if I want to really get it sorted out, I've got to follow the pain. I've got to follow the ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. I've got to follow the hurt. Because up in the world, when I hurt, I say, who did it? And then I got to get rid of who did it. I want to win. When I hurt, I feel like I've lost. When you hurt, you've lost control. You've lost the game. So you've got to step up and beat that winner. Become a winner. Trump offered, with me you'll win-win. So you got to hear the hurt, the ping pong, the hurt, the Groundhog Day, ping pong, and go into the basement at night and see what's going on. And there's an old man there playing chess or ping pong with himself. Chess doesn't make any noise. So playing with himself. So be curious. And he will see you standing there. And he will say, sit down. I'll teach you. This is Zen. So I'll close with a Zen koan, a very famous one. It's about Bodhidharma. the patriarch of Zen, when he came to China, he sat in a cave for 9 years. And a disciple, the little orphan, came to his cave, his basement, and the old man wouldn't look at him, wouldn't pay any attention. So Huiku, is his name, he stood in the snow. And still the old man wouldn't notice him. And so Huiku cut off his right arm. Now this is a metaphor, this is a hyperbole. It kind of like means, I'd cut off my right arm to get that teaching. So you understand it like that. Oh, well, Zen's no good, it makes you cut off your arm. No. It's a metaphor. So the little orphan cut off her right arm. She would give anything to learn the teaching from the old man in the basement, or Bodhidharma sitting in the cave. So when Bodhidharma, or the old man, turns to us, what do you want, orphan? And the orphan said, or the disciple said, my mind is not at rest. Please, teacher, put my mind at rest. In other words, the disciple was plagued by the yada yada of the mind. He couldn't stop thinking in this tape loop or Groundhog Day that just went on and on and on. New topics, new problems, same tape loop. Wow, 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 yada, 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 yada. Can't rest, I can't get out. Please put my mind at rest. So Bodhidharma, or the old man in the basement, says, well, bring me your mind and I'll put it to rest. Easy peasy. So the disciple came back and said, I have searched for this mind. And I find I can't attain it. I can't grab it. I can't grab the mind. And Bodhidharma says, there. I put your mind to rest. And Haku was awakened and he became the second patriarch of Zen. Now, this is a drama, a Zen koan, a drama between a monk and a master. Queen's Gambit is a drama between the orphan and the old man in the basement. See, that drama between the orphan and the old man goes on for her whole life. Her whole life is working out the truth of the old man in the basement. It begins with her curiosity, and the old man says, sit, I'll teach you. You are a worthy disciple. And her whole life is the working out of the teaching. So at the end, instead of going on to fame and rewards for being the winner of all, she goes to the park and plays for the love of the game. She plays for the love of the game, not for winning the game, because it's a game. It's a game. Thanks for dropping in.